Now, welcome to the depths. Now this maze, this backstory behind this maze is simply a small town called Amity, okay? It's a reference to, of course, Jaws. The small town is a mining town, fairly wealthy. One weekend, basically all the men would go out and come back for the weekend. Well, one weekend the men didn't show back up, and more men started disappearing as they went out to mine more. And so there became a mystery of the town. All the men, the brothers, the cousins, the uncles, the fathers, the grandfathers, disappearing. Now it is your job to go find out why they're disappearing. You have to go into the depths to find out what's causing all the miners to disappear. And so right here, we have our sea captain who will be talking during the opening of the maze, and he'll be basically telling you the same story that I'm telling you. Now we also have a shark right here. It's a prop that we had years ago in the boardwalk area. The shark didn't have such dramatic teeth, but this is also a bit of our homage to the old shark that was hanging at Universal Studios, the Jaws prop. This is a bit of an homage to that. We here at Knott's Berry Farm, we love movies, and Jaws is one of our favorite movies, and that's why we named this place Amity Cove. All right, everybody, we're going to step right in.
They didn't give the captain a name.
You know, the captain does have a name. I just can never remember it.
But that's secret. Keep it.
I always want to say Ahab. All right, come on in, everyone. Come on in, come on in. Drag your bodies to the dead.
The old pre-show, right?
The pre-show.
I know.
Maze is meant to basically simulate you going down an elevator shaft in a mine. There are video projections in each side of the windows. There'll be a little bit of shaking in the floor. It'll give you the simulation of you actually going down deep into the mine. I'll show you an effect that we achieved to make it look like you've actually traveled below the surface of the mine. If I can get the door open. There we go. Okay, so normally when the maze is in heavy operation, we just keep this door open. We don't even bring you guys into this. But what we'll do is close this door while you're inside. And we'll just go ahead and push this, and when we reopen the door, it'll look like you're in a completely different portion of the mine. It's a very simple trick, but it's very effective. All right, everybody, let's go. Let's go right down this way. Now everybody, welcome to the sleeping quarters. Now, John Cook, the main creator of this maze, hid this room with tons and tons of Easter eggs, but he did pull a few of them out because he wants to save some of the best ones for apparently next year's haunt. But right now we have a few items in here, like that particular lamp right there came from the Calico Mine Ride, as well as this one right here. These are some of the old lamps that were sitting inside of the Mine Ride. Any pickaxes, shovels, and things like that you see in here usually came from the Mine Ride before its restoration in 2014. We have some of our boiler room pieces right here. This one, I believe, came from the actual Timber Mountain log ride. And this cot right here was used in, I believe, Asylum Lockdown. So we have a few Easter eggs in here and a few nods to our attractions and some of our other mazes that we've had back here. But I do want to show you guys one effect. Just go ahead and wait right there, everybody. Now this is called a boo hole. Hey, I'm ugly. So these straps are basically they would be painted to simulate the bars, and whoever's popping out of here is either scared enough, strong enough, or angry enough to bend the bars. And so that's how we pop out at people really quickly. And so everybody go ahead and walk around to the other side. We have our eel friend. He's an Italian eel. We know that because it's amore. Yeah.
You get the perfect laugh for this. Yeah.
This is always my way.
Oh my goodness.
Someone's lost his mind.
Yeah. mind-blowing facts right there.
That's right.
Here, get that.
That was such powerful. I gotta go home. Is it? Oh, gosh.
And then recently, last weekend, went out to Hershey Park in Pennsylvania for their
Innovative creators for not only mazes like the Depths and Infected Special Ops, he's also a co-creator, I believe, of Call of Duty, the game. So we've got someone famous in our pantheon of monster makers. All right, everybody. Now, if you have any problems with balance, I will gladly walk you into the next room. But if you don't, please come right in. This room is actually leaning a little bit. We're trying to simulate a sinking ship. This right here is a reference to a former haunter, a fallen haunter, Nelson Lee. His number was 88 for his jersey, so that's our reference to him. Just to let him know we're always thinking about him. Come on in, come on in. Now, when the sound effects and the lights are all going, this is a really sort of daunting effect. We'll always see people stumbling because it'll make them feel like the ground is actually moving beneath their feet. You guys keep going. Keep going into the next room if you want.
So by now, how many people are attacking you?
Oh, by now, probably about half the.
Phoebe, don't do it.
Yeah, there's a guy in a submersible suit who comes out of this hole right here. Oh, wow. Just enough. So, welcome to the lake room, everyone. Now, during operation, the lake room would be filled with a low-lying fog and fan laser lights to give you the simulation that you are waist deep in water. Now, we have a few of our fog machines out right there. We have to keep them slightly covered. Fog machines do produce a lot of heat, so we can't keep them covered all the way. Even the fog machine boxes out on ghost town streets, those have superb vents in them, so that way they don't overheat too much. Now, the reason why the fog in this room stays right around here is because we actually, on ghost town streets, we have to heat the fog to get it to be more hazy and float out into the air. This fog isn't heated as much, so that way the fog still rises, but just enough. So that way it's not flying in your face and you can't see anything. And also, the effect when people have ground fog, that's when the fog is chilled before it comes out of the nozzle. So there are various ways you can heat fog that'll give you a different effect every single time. You've got haze, you've got mid fog, and you've got floor fog. And so that's a simple effect we have. Now right here we have our first official monster victim of this maze. This creature is not quite a siren, not a vampire or anything like that, but this is a warning to the other creatures of the sea that what lies in the depths won't hesitate to destroy you. And this anchor is supposed to be the anchor from the sunken ship we just walked out of. But that's a nice little nod to how dangerous these creatures are. Now, if you take a look at this right here, this is a good homage to one of our favorite films here at Knott's Berry Farm, Indiana Jones, and the Temple of Doom. We have a few homages of that in here, and I also want you guys to look around. It's a little bit of an inside joke. These are meant to look like the ruins that you would buy at Petco and put in your fish tank. Yeah, it's a little bit of an inside joke, and in the dark you can't really tell how brightly colored they always are. But with the lights on, it's a nice little joke that we go, hee 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 hee, we're in a fish tank. So yeah, all right, everybody. Now, if anybody does want to take a few more pictures in this room, you are welcome to do that as well. We have our lovely lady corpse right here, if you want to take a few pictures of her. Now, like I said, a lot of our big set pieces like this, they do look like stone, but they're actually styrofoam and plaster. We keep them like that so that way they're not too heavy when we have to remove them out of the mazes eventually. The mazes don't last forever, so eventually we do have to remove them, and if you need to replace any pieces, they can be easily recarved and put back in. And this particular piece has actually had this piece smacked off before, so we simply just had to cut a piece off, carve a new piece, and then glue it back on, replaster, repaint it. So it's a very simple thing. We can actually do that in a matter of hours. There are certain things in here that that get destroyed on a nightly basis. We can fix them in a matter of hours. All right, everybody. Now this is a small reference to Creature of the Black Lagoon. It looks just like the creature. You got to add a reference to the Creature of the Black Lagoon in a maze like this. All right, everybody, keep walking, keep walking. It's a reference to the Creature of the Black Lagoon. Got to add a reference to that. A little bit, yes. Either that or we were thinking about fillet of fish fry.
Yeah.
No. Ian's having a bad day. Some of the mazes remain up here. Yeah, sometimes we do have to give the mazes daily and, if necessary, a nightly touch-up. If you ever see any of our technical support staff inside of a maze during operation of Haunt, that's because something needs to be fixed and fixed now. We like all of our effects, all of our animatronics, all of our monsters to be running in tip-top shape. So if anything needs to be fixed, we try to do it as quickly as possible. That's why all of our technical staff, they usually in the daytime wear blue. But at night for Haunt, we dress them in all black so they can more easily disappear into the shadows. Ooh, mysterious. Okay, welcome to the Mermaid's Grotto, everybody. Now, this room is supposed to be just a mermaid grotto. We've got these nice little fancy seaweed things around here. We actually had a lot of these just sitting in our warehouse. We would use these during springtime in the boardwalk area to decorate things, and we would also do that around the Christmas times too. We would decorate with seaweed and things like that because it's next to the ocean. So, you know, it'd be a little weird to have just wreaths and Christmas trees everywhere, even though I live in Long Beach and there's never any seaweed decorations. It's always wreaths and Christmas trees. Now, right here we have the area where you'd see some of the mermaids. There's actually a sliding seat right there, so the mermaids don't have to run to you. Mermaids can't run; they don't got legs, so they'll be sitting on a sliding seat and they'll smoothly slide over to you so they can get you. And right there, we have a mermaid's tail. This mermaid tail will be moving in the middle of the night. It's actually an animatronic. It'll be moving, so that way it'll basically look like a mermaid is just sitting in the grotto, waving its tail at you, beckoning you to come in. There'll also be a siren song playing in here as well, along with some crunchy sound effects. Gross.
Squidward. Water.
Come on in. Don't mind the miners. Come on in, everybody. Come on in. Now, this is also a photo op. If anyone wants to take any photos in this room, feel free. Every tentacle is an animatronic, and the eyes have projection mapping so they can look around the room. Come on in, come on in. Yes, the eyes have projection mapping so they can look around. Every tentacle in this room is an animatronic, so they all move around. There will also be another low-leg level of fall, so that way it looks as though the giant creature is actually springing up out of the water to come and get you in this drop. World of Warcraft. They have giant octopuses in World of Warcraft?
Huh?
They have giant octopuses in
Oh,
World of
yeah.
Warcraft? Oh yeah, this is another blue hole. This is Captain Cthulhu's room. So Captain Cthulhu is based on, of course, the Eldritch Terror, the Lovecraftian Eldritch Terror, Cthulhu, the god of the sea and destruction. Captain Cthulhu wears a character in a squid mask. It's also a bit of an homage to Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean. And there's also a sea witch in here, which is also an homage to Davy Jones and Teodoma from Pirates of the Caribbean too. We couldn't resist. If we're doing a maze about giant octopuses and pirates, might as well make a Pirates of the Caribbean reference. And inside this room, we have a few pieces from other mazes. We have all the silverware and gold in here is actually from a maze we had called the Inquisition. About the Spanish Inquisition. This lamp right here is actually from the Timber Mountain log ride. This lamp would be hanging either in the queue or it'd be hanging on the wood posts right after you come down the big hill. This map has a ton of references in it to the park and the creators of the mazes themselves. Right over here we have Matt's cabin, which is a reference to it's a reference to Calico River Rapids. Matt is one of the production designers here, and we also have a small reference here called Knott's Lake. If anybody remembers, back in the day, Knott's Berry Farm used to have a substantial sized lake right where Silver Bullet's sitting now. It's actually where we used to have the church that's across the street, used to be sitting on a little island in that lake that you could walk out to. We even had a few boat rides out there as well over the history of the park. So this room is just filled with tons and tons of references. Even our sand dial right here is not filled with sand. Just sand. It's filled with water, because it would be submerged underwater for decades and decades. So that's the captain's quarters. It's a tight room, I know, but we do that so that way you come from this big room and then you have to get squeezed down slower and slower into this smaller space. It gives you more of a sense of foreboding, as if things are going terribly wrong. In a big room, you can run and hide. The smaller a space gets, you start to panic a little more. So that's a psychological thing we do to get you. Excuse me. All right, everybody. If you want to take any pictures in there, you can too.
What if Knott spells his name with one T?
The Spanish Inquisition, it's funny.
Yeah, but it's got two T's, that's not you.
The facade of it says the Spanish Inquisition on it, but it's called Tourist Trap. It's the actual attraction's name.
Come on in, everybody. Come on in.
Oh, it's the shark.
All right, everybody. This is Bruce. Bruce is here to remind you that fish are friends, not food. There we go. Now, does anybody know where we got the name Bruce from?
Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo
Jaws.
and Jaws.
Oh, damn it.
Jaws. We got the name Bruce from Jaws. The animatronic shark in Jaws famously didn't work. Smoke. Bruce will slide out and start chomping at you. Now, this was an effect that we built here as well. Someone sculpted Bruce, cast him, covered him in a nice shiny lacquer, and basically doused him in all kinds of silicone blood. It's all hangy and drippy and nasty. And even sometimes when you come out, you'll have a small water effect that'll make you go, ooh, what's on me? Get it off. So Bruce is one of our favorite animatronics here. He's my favorite animatronic here, at least. Hopefully when they're all done with Bruce, I can take him home. Just kidding. If anybody wants to... Now, there have been times when our animatronics, so we always strive to make more and more technological advances with our mazes. So there was such a time when our animatronics